Yep, we are up.
All right.
Typing
We're
on a
ready to
computer.
go.
Trying to push this to the groups. Hold on.
Now push it on. Push it on. I just want to get it on my stupid. I don't know why I never get it on Facebook.
Yeah, I know. We're on.
All right, let's go. What can I tell you? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I see something down here. Oh, yep. I see something.
Yeah,
There we go. Guess what? I found it. Hey.
You get it?
Got it.
There you go. All right.
There you go.
I'm gonna,
Well, this week is going to be the week to fish. Did you see the weather for the whole week?
Yeah, it looks really, really good.
I mean, it's fantastic for scalloping, for anything you want to do. No rain at all, real low winds. Looks like we got a whole week to take advantage of it.
Yeah. That and the only thing is it's going to be a little hot.
Well, it's always going to be a little hot.
We're back to the heat again. It was nice. It was nice and cool for a little bit, but we're going to get back into the 3 digits. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
It's better than a bunch of rain in a you know.
Yeah. At least we can get out, and I definitely got out this week, so it's good. All right, so I got all that done there. So let me pop this.
And we did get 2 fishing reports this week. Well, you know, the way the weather's been, a lot of people just number one is between school, getting the kids back to school, the rain, and everything else. Hasn't been a lot of fishing being done.
No, but yeah, I figured it's probably going to pick up this next week, especially with more reports. Hopefully, a couple of our captains didn't feel well this week either, so
no,
didn't get their reports.
We've had some sickies, and you know, one of the things that came up is, did you see where FWC approves new regulation for American shad?
Oh, really? No. No, but I do have another announcement.
But I guess the American shad is going to be a catch and release only. But it's mostly its primary area the St. Johns River.
Right.
And I guess it's been overfished so much that they've decided to close it completely, and it's only catch and release.
So my first question, people were eating those?
It must be, because they were catching the living daylights out of them.
Okay. Well,
now
to each his own.
Some people can interpret this as American shad catch and fillet.
Yeah.
But no, apparently a lot of people were eating it. And it says the decision aimed to ensure the sustainability of American shad stocks in Florida waters. American shad are found primarily in the St. Johns River, where abundance continues to decline. So they decided to just shut it down. And there's Donald on the line already.
Hey, Donald, good evening.
Good.
There is another announcement as well, because I checked it today. The August meeting at FWC, they have approved grouper for 30 days in September in state waters.
What? The whole month?
Yep, whole month.
Woo!
So you got a whole month of grouper this September in state waters.
When did that come out? Today?
Yeah, well, I saw it today. I don't know when it came out, but they had a meeting August 7th, I think, is what I saw on there. So it was this first meeting, and they decided to go ahead and give us 30 days in state waters along with federal waters. So
fantastic.
Yep.
Man, that makes it good. Now I can really have a good time.
Yeah. You can kind of stretch it out a little bit if you wanted to.
Oh, yeah, because, man, I had all these people lined up. I've got charters almost every day because it was only 14 days. And, of course, you got the holidays there. And I don't go the 2 days before the holiday. And the holiday, I ain't going out.
Yeah.
Too many wackos, crazies.
Yeah, and last year, you know, the 14 days, there was several days that nobody could get out because the weather turned horrible.
Well, that's the whole thing. You know, these people don't take consideration of that. They tell you, oh, we got 14 days. Yeah, but you could have 4, 5, or 6 days terrible weather where you can't fish them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, with most people who work Monday through Friday, that's only 4 days.
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday. So, because nobody's really, you know, revolving their vacation schedule over grouper season. Some do, but not everybody. So at least
so
it
we have
gives them
30 days to catch gag grouper in state waters, which is great because I can hit that Tampa Bay area and have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad for us either, but I can tell you, by the end of the first week, maybe second week, those shallow water grouper, they're going to be they're going to be caught. So as the month progresses, you're going to have to go farther and farther out. So, but yeah, if there are any in the shallows, I mean, this recent water kind of cooled everything. I haven't been out there to check, so I have no idea.
It's too hot. I mean, usually they move in when it starts cooling down a little bit.
Yeah, and they're probably out already close to that federal waters as it is. So who knows? We'll see how it goes. But I mean, we got 9 miles.
And then federal's going to be open the whole month, so both of them are going to be open for a month.
Yeah,
which is good,
Yeah. And so that changes things for the month. I know a lot of my guys here, they've, pretty much booked every day, the first 14 days, and now we got 30 days. So they can actually add a little bit more because it's a big thing here in Crystal River. I mean, when we had it in the cold times, it was just a big thing. Everybody was kind of booked because we could go out there and find them real easy. It's really fun. So
now, like I said, now in Tampa Bay, as the water cools down, you start getting the bigger ones and then more move in. And I remember every year fishing out of Hudson, the best time for grouper fishing always started around Thanksgiving weekend. Mm-hmm. And it would run all the way through March. We could just tear them up out of Hudson every year. We had about 3 or 4 months that you can go out there and really get a lot of grouper, but it had to be in the cold weather time. So we're going to see what happens. And Donald says he sent a link there for anybody that wants to go to it. But that's good because I haven't seen anybody. I just pulled everything that they sent me the last 2 days, and I didn't see anything on that. How'd you find about the state waters?
What's that?
How'd you find out?
Oh, I got a call from a buddy of mine, and I went, "No, I think it was 14." And he goes, "Well, I'm just seeing something about 30." So I checked it, and sure enough, they had changed it. So
beautiful.
And I was trying to find. I got messaged a couple weeks back and just forgot about it. But I got messaged by a member here on the group, or actually watching the show. I remember you were talking about those tires.
About the what now?
The tires in Tampa Bay.
Uh-huh.
He states October is the best time to get those tires because he dives them. In October is when those groupers are around those tires when it's cooler.
Really?
Yep. He calls it the Halloween surprise. And that's when he goes to those tires and gets the grouper. So just to let you know, those tires in October apparently do produce.
And let me tell you, when you hook one of those, because those tires were, I don't know how you put them together, but and I never saw, all I know they're down there.
Well, and he sent me screenshots. So I'm trying to find that too. I could kind of put it up to the camera. He actually showed screenshots of what it looks like. Yeah.
Well, in the 60s, early 70s, they thought that was going to be the thing to get rid of the tires. And what they would do is some people put concrete in them.
Yeah.
And they would tie like 4 or 5 tires together. The problem is they don't sit very good on the bottom. And every time a storm came, they got moved around all over the place. But this being in the bay, and it's only in about 15, 18 feet of water, they've held up pretty good. But I can tell you, if you hook one, you lost your rig because you ain't moving those tires, and that hook just gets into that. And I think there were a lot of truck tires too, mostly.
Yeah.
Donald said it was posted August the 7th. That was 3 days ago.
Yeah. So 3 days ago. So that's the date I saw on there. So it was just recent. So last week, I think when we mentioned 14 days, it's already been changed. So, and that's what happens, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I cannot. Oh, I know where it's at. Hold on. I'll get to it. I'm going to find those pictures for you just so you can see it. I think
we've had some captains. You know what's going around down here? A lot of the captains and stuff, they are using they're all catching some kind of a bug, a flu.
Yeah, there's that going around as well. There, you had I couldn't tell you what the cyclo something stomach bug going around, but now there's something else going around that are getting people sick, and it's only lasting a few days, but it's not good either.
Well, I've talked to a lot of them. They said it's like a cold. Like I said, a cold in the middle of the summer.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I can't find that thing. Anyway, if I find it, I'll send it to you. I'll message it over to you. But yeah, I can't seem to find that picture. I get messaged like crazy, and it's just I got 3 different places I can find my messages, and Lord knows.
You ought to try one. It might be easier.
Well,
yeah,
when you got a group and myself personal, and then the Fishbones business, it's everything kind of gets convoluted.
Yeah, I know.
So
it's like these stupid emails, but. So anyway, I think if this holds up, I'm going out a couple of times this week to go fishing. I got charters. I'm really looking forward to it because, man, I'm looking at 4 to 6 mile an hour winds.
Yeah.
And only 18% chance of rain and everything. So I think it's going to be great. Now, I'm hoping that it stays this way because when we go with you in a week from Wednesday, right?
Right.
Yeah. To go scalloping, maybe the water will be really clean.
Yeah, and it wasn't too bad. We were out there yesterday doing some scalloping, and it was high tide, so the north end was a little. I wanted to scallop the north end because I think it's a place that really hasn't been picked over a whole lot, but did go south a little bit, found some real clear water, and found plenty of scallops. So this season it's sustaining right now. There are still guys getting limits, so. The scalloping is still very good. There's a lot less boats out there right now, so it's kind of nice.
Well, with all this weather, this weather last week kept a lot of people off the water.
Yeah.
So that's like a week of not going scalloping,
Right.
So that would help a little bit. Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah.
And scalloping is going to. When is scallop going to close?
Not till September 24th. So you got a whole other month and a half.
Pasco's still closed. I haven't seen anything that says it's open again.
No, it's probably going to be closed for a while. I forget what day their season ends. Now I think their season ends the same as ours in September sometime. So they may open up again. Just give all that. I would say it's probably all the rainwater, everything else washing out. Creating this stagnant kind of mess that they got out there. But I've heard more reports of the flesh-eating bacteria out there too. So.
Yeah, there was something on the news today about it. And anywhere that there's stagnant water or brackish water, and let me tell you, that is something that as an angler, as a swimmer, or whatever, you don't want to get hit with that. It's very dangerous. There's nothing to fool around with.
No, you tend if you're going out and swimming or anything else like that. First of all, please do not swim with an open wound. If it's simple cut or something like that is one thing, but it can still get in there as well. It's just don't swim around stagnant water. Make sure the water's nice and clear, moving, and don't swim in the backwaters.
Now that you said the water nice and clear, I saw a video early this morning. I get up 5:15. So I watched YouTube for about an hour of fishing videos, and they were in Crystal River fishing, and they had a big tiger shark hanging around the boat in the flats, a big tiger shark, and they had 2 humongous cobia that they caught off that tiger shark. And then they came, but during that one trip that morning, they had this big tiger shark. You could see it crystal clear. They had a big nurse shark, and then they had another shark that came by in about a 3-hour period. But that tiger shark looked big and mean. Yeah. But he had 2 cobias that they caught.
Yeah, I wish. I don't know why I didn't think of it. I was just too excited, I guess. A couple of years back, fishing this rock pile grouper, catching some fish, and a big tiger shark. One of the biggest I've seen in quite a long time. Had a beautiful cobia on it, and it kept coming around the boat every 15 minutes or so, and it bit my trolling motor. That's why it's rusted. But it had a massive cobia on it, and I kept trying to get that cobia off, and I could not. But yeah, there's some big tigers out here, and this year alone, I've seen 3 tigers in the flats. So, and that I haven't seen any tigers up here in this flats since I've been here, and just this year alone, I've seen 3. So
either the food source is not as plentiful up there, so they're coming in closer to find it.
Yeah, possibly. But the funny thing is, when you're out there at scallop grounds, I haven't seen one shark anywhere. It's only a mile or so off the mangroves, and don't see one shark out there that I haven't seen personally. I know some people have mentioned they've seen 1 or 2, but it's very, very rare. It's kind of weird. But yesterday,
what a good captain does when he's got a crew that's scalloping on the boat, he'll always be in front of everybody. And of course, you have a little string with a dead fish hanging. So he wants to protect his people that are scalloping at all times.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we had a black tip yesterday kind of give us a little issues. Not too bad. Didn't chase our fish, but chased everyone we threw off the boat. But yeah, it's seems to be a normal thing now. We used to never see them like that. Maybe once in a blue moon you get a shark around, but every time there's a boat around the island, they seem to tune in on it right now.
Well, we're going to have the guy, I think is Australia, that's got the shark repellent. It looks like a pin, and this little gadget that I talked about. Mm-hmm. He's going to be our guest on the show on the 24th. So I think it's next week. Yeah. In 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, he's going to be our guest on the podcast, and he's going to talk about, and we have a few little videos of how it works. I'm going to try it this week. I'm looking forward to see how it works.
Right.
Because dolphin have become a big problem in Tampa Bay and around the Skyway. People fishing around the Skyway. I mean, these things are coming up and eating the grouper.
Yeah.
All the mango snappers, you're bringing them up. They're actually, they've gotten really aggressive now. It's not like you throw them in and they chase them down. Now they actually, as you're bringing the fish up, they come after that fish, trying to take it off the hook.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I mean, it's free food. I mean, you're just bringing it to them. They don't have to chase it as much.
Well,
so you're coming up here Wednesday?
A week from Wednesday.
No, you're coming up here Wednesday, remember?
We
got the expo up here.
Oh, yeah. Well, Saturday. You're talking about Saturday.
Oh, that's Saturday. Did I say Wednesday?
Yeah, you said Wednesday.
It is Saturday.
Yeah. We got to get together because I'll meet you up there. I understand it's not very big, though. I talked to Alice that she's been going to it every year. She said, don't expect everything spectacular, but it's nice. It's a small one, but so, hey, it's something different to look at.
Like I said, the Equestrian Center is just a beautiful place to go anyway. I go there every Christmas for their lights and all that kind of stuff. It's a nice place. But okay, so that's that. For some reason I had it in my head a Wednesday.
Yeah,
good. That frees me up. I got more time this week. Cool.
Saturday. And I'm looking forward to it. Let's see what it says. I have my outing on the 29th. Great tides and Salooners. There's a nice boat ramp. And this is Bay Vista Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was so disappointed when I found out that all those ramps over at Fort DeSoto that haven't been fixed yet. Except they got, they got one, I think.
Yeah,
and that's a shame because that one gets hit pretty hard. I mean, it's right there on the Gulf. You launch and you can go straight out.
Yeah,
I used to use that ramp all the time years ago.
Yeah, it's going to take a while for them to do it. I never really had the need for the ramps because usually when I'm there camping, I just have somebody drop me off and they take the truck and trailer back to the campsite. So I don't really have to use the docks. But yeah, there's only one there, which actually made it a lot easier to launch and put your boat on the trail this year because nobody could hang around the docks.
That's true. Yeah. I mean,
it made it faster.
You better get out quick. Now, since we're talking about ramps, have you heard anything else about the parking situation in your area? I haven't heard anything down here. It's been pretty quiet about it.
It's still been kind of quiet right now. Haven't heard much movement on it in any way, shape, or form. They've had a lot of other issues at the county. We had the data center, which looks like it's failed. So hopefully that stays. But they've had a few more issues going on here in Citrus County that they've had to deal with. So I think right for now, that's on the back burner. And you probably won't see any results of anything for 2 or 3 years anyway. It's, they may pass something, but, that doesn't mean it's going to get done right away. So it'll just have to do. And then I think we have an election up this year too. So, things that aren't important, guess what?
That's right.
To them, it's not that important. Which is,
you said they were trying to do a data center up there in Crystal River.
Yeah, actually in Holder, just north of me here.
They're going to be pretty big, or?
Yeah, it was going to be pretty big, but so far it's been kind of put on hold or kibosh for now. Hopefully it stays that way. Sometimes those things get put on hold and then quietly it happens before everybody knows it. So I'm hoping it's just done. We don't need to worry about it because we got enough things tapping into the aquifer here. We don't need a data center. And again, I'm probably one of those that contribute to it because I use AI quite a bit. I mean, everybody uses the internet. It's just one of those things. But they need to figure out how to do it better, either recycled water, oil, or use salt water. They need to figure out a better way to keep these things cool than tapping into our natural resources. Yeah,
because we ain't going to have any natural resources.
No. Either that or it needs to be, it needs to be recycled some way, somehow, to quit tapping into it, because you get too many people tapping into the aquifer, especially around Crystal River. All of our rivers, all of our springs, everything else is going to suffer. And that's something that I don't know that anybody's paying attention to.
And that's my concern around here. All the construction, all the building, where's all the water going to come from?
Yeah.
The infrastructure
where does all
there to handle it?
Where does all the runoff go?
Yeah.
It goes right into our bays, which creates the bacteria, which creates the red tides, which creates everything else. So they don't pay attention enough to save the waters. So, again, it doesn't seem to be on anybody's important list.
Well, it's all about the dollar bill. Hey, the builder wants to build more homes so he can make more money. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't care because when he gets through with a subdivision, he's out of here.
Yeah.
It becomes the people's problems that stay here.
It's
the houses and everything.
Yeah. It's it looks good from my house mentality.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, well,
I don't know. Let's see. Well, we got Mike Dawson, Roll, and you. So you want to do Mike Dawson?
Yeah, let's do Mike Dawson.
All right, let's do that.
Morning, guys. Captain Michael Dawson here of Patriotic Guide Service. Here at this week's fishing report for the Anklet region. A couple big pieces of news for the Anklet region before we get started. Pasco County has just closed their scalloping season for the year. They're mentioning that it might reopen and give us a little extension, but due to some bacteria in the water that the scallops seem to filter through, they're closing the season until that bacteria seems to go away. They're going to constantly monitor the situation and put out releases about every 2 weeks for the new tests. So it's going to be a couple weeks before season might reopen, but as of now, season has closed. Back to fishing, though, the redfish bite is absolutely phenomenal this time of year. The more rain we get, the better this fishing is going to get. The redfish start pushing out the rivers, creeks, and the backwater. That extra fresh water pushes them out to some open water. So you can start seeing these at the mouth of any of your rivers, mouth of any of the spoil islands, and there's quite a few of them. Cut bait seems to be the key with these high water temperatures. Soak a piece of cut pinfish, cut mullet, cut ladyfish on the edge of the shoreline, and just wait. Sometimes it seems these fish take 10, 15, 20 minutes to come in for that first bait, but once they come in, the whole school seems to come in, so give it some time. Snooker's starting to show back up off the beaches. So all those fish are on the beaches all summer. They're starting to hit the mangrove lines. So live whitebait works for them. Chum heavy. And then offshore, we got our mangrove snapper bite going on. August is mangrove snapper breeding season. So get out there on any of these inshore and nearshore wrecks or reefs, and there should be quite a few mangrove snapper out there. Captain Michael Dawson, Patriotic Guide Service.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. So Donald asked a question about Tides apps and what we use. I have 2 Tides apps that I use. And of course, I use Android. So it depends on if you're using Apple or Android, depending on what app you can get. But for Android, because I've got a Google phone, is Tides Near Me and Tides Charts.
Yeah, I use Tides Near Me.
Yeah. And they seem to be pretty accurate, but
I got an Apple, so
yeah, I will say that recently they've been off.
They've been off a couple of hours.
Yeah.
It says high tide at 10,
mm-hmm.
and it ain't no high tide at 10.
No. So you kind of take it with a grain of salt with anything. Yesterday we were expecting tide to start turning around about 10:30 or so. I don't think it turned around till 12. I mean, it was late. And I'm not sure if it was, it wasn't for onshore water or anything else like that because there was barely no wind. So you kind of have to just go by that. But it's relatively accurate. The tide charts is what I use, pick up first, and then I'll look at the tides near me. And then that way, the tides charts, the reason why I do that is because you have options of which locations you want to use. And I'll use 2 or 3 different locations because we have from Crystal River to Mangrove Point to Homosassa, depending on where we're fishing. And those tides can differ by an hour or so behind each other because it starts north and goes south. So you kind of look at all of those in those directions. See, Tampa Bay, you just have one coming in, one going out. And we got to look at 3 different time zones, kind of, because it's weird. And it may be, it says a 2-foot tide here near Crystal River, Mangrove Point, but down there near Homosassa, near the St. Martin's Keys, it may only be a 1.4 because of the depth of the shelf and everything else like that. So you kind of have to
even in Tampa Bay, you got the Courtney Campbell Causeway, then you get around Gandy, then you get around Cockroach Bay, and then you got the Skyway. So really, it could be high tide at the Skyway at 11 o'clock, but it won't be high tide in the Courtney Campbell for almost hour and a half later.
Yeah. And the same with Kings Bay. I mean, everything at Mangrove Point, you pretty much go an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to know what's up in Kings Bay. And that's the difference there because it'll take a while for that water that's already pushed in. A lot of water has to go out at the front first before the rest of it starts going out.
Right.
So, yeah, you kind of have to we time our fishing that way. Just hit the shallows here and then come out and then go out to the reefs or whatever. So those are the ones I use. But
one thing I noticed today, though, I had to go across Courtney Campbell Causeway and I went across the Howard Franklin. The tides were extremely high.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
they've been high.
High.
And the other thing, there's a lunar. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I do have, it's on my weather app. If I can find it.
Well, I also have Salt Strong, their app, and that gives you gives you the lunar and all that. But Navionics does the same thing. I also have the Navionics app, and that gives you the tides, it gives you the lunar and everything else.
Yeah, my Lowrance does that as well, the Lowrance app. And then, of course, on my unit itself, it has the tides and it has the moon because that's going to be the other factor that you have to factor into because if the moon is behind on the other side of the earth, it's going to pull that water a little bit farther in. And sometimes I think that's what's happening is that, the moon's just in a right position where those tides come in a little higher, take a little longer to turn around and then finally go. So, that's at least my speculation on it. I'm not an astrophysicist.
Now, one of the things too, and like I said, I watch a lot of this YouTube stuff because, hey, I learn. I'm willing to learn every day, and some of the crazy stuff people do. But there was one guy there too that he gets these mud crabs and the fiddlers, and like he says, when he wants to use them, sometimes there's none around, or he doesn't have the time to go catch them. So he catches them, and he puts them in a Ziploc bag with a little bit of Procure in the bag and shakes it and freezes them.
Huh.
And he says, it works pretty good.
Yeah. They don't get soft and mushy?
I don't know. He said it looked like it worked pretty good. Nothing like a live one, but think about it. You got nothing to do today. You're not going fishing. You go somewhere and you see, wow, look at all these fiddlers. You get a bunch and you put them in a bag, put a few drops of Procure in it, or some kind of scent,
Yeah.
and that's it, and seal it good and freeze them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never heard that one.
No, but now I do remember years ago, about 10, 12 years ago, at least, there was a guy that was doing that with sand fleas. He was catching sand fleas, and he would bag them and put them in some kind of juice, and he was selling them, but the guy passed away. But people that bought those sand fleas said they work just as good as live ones.
And
frozen fleas are a little different.
Yeah, frozen sand fleas, they use them up in Pensacola a lot. Catch a whole bunch and freeze them. Some people would just put them in some good brine and freeze them that way. They do work as frozen bait as well. So but you got a vacuum packed is a lot easier. There's no air in it, all that kind of stuff. Or put, like I do with fish, if I don't have my, vacuum seal on there, put it in a good Ziploc bag, a little freezer bag, take a straw at the end, suck out all the air, and then seal it right up.
Yeah,
just like a vacuum
I've got a vacuum seal, and I can tell you it does work. I mean, you freeze fish in that, it'll last a lot longer and stay in really good condition.
Yeah, take that air out. It definitely helps. It keeps it from freezer burn and everything else like that. And if you treat your bait that way, then there you go. Because even using pinfish, we're taking the ones that are left over from the day and freezing them, and they're working just as good, especially at wintertime, Maine summertime, when it's just hot and the fish are lethargic. They'll eat that frozen bait. They don't care. As long as it's fresh frozen, it's fine. Yeah.
If they get hungry, and there's
they're hungry,
they will eat it.
They will. They will.
The other thing too, I was watching this one guy. He was in a pier with a bunch of people fishing, and he started catching the heck out of fish, and the other people weren't doing. I mean, he was like 3 or 4 to 1 to all these other people, and his secret was he got down to 15-pound test leader, fluorocarbon leader. Everybody was using 30 or heavier on this pier. And he lost some fish, but he said it made a big difference. And he put a longer leader. He had like almost a 4-foot leader, of 15 pound.
Yeah.
And a little split shot on a 1-aught hook. And he was catching tons of mango snapper compared to everybody else on that same side of the bridge. They were catching one here and there, and he was consistently landing a bunch of mango snapper.
Yeah, if you can ever go down on your leader size and the length of it, increase the length, especially when the water is relatively clear, you're going to do a little better. There's a lot of times I'll do from the 20 pound down to the 15 pound if they're really, really spooky. But like I said, we've got crystal clear water here, so we tend to downsize everything, including the hooks at times. So yeah, if you ever get it where you're getting a few bites, downsize a little bit, you might be surprised you catch a lot more. They can't tell that it's a hook and a leader there because they can see that stuff.
Well, I question that. Does it really work? But I guess it does. Everybody that's tried it has proved it. And I've done it, especially with mango snapper. I've gone to 15-pound test and a longer leader. And I know that on the East Coast, I talked to a couple of guys that used to get a lot of mutton snappers off of Jupiter in that area. And they used to use almost a 20-foot leader, real light fluorocarbon leader.
Yeah.
Because he said, man, those fish could see it. You did that, you caught mutton snapper. You didn't do that, you didn't get no bites.
Yeah. It just depends on the conditions you're in, where you fish it and how long of a leader you're going to need. Because I would say vertical, I go a little bit longer leader. Horizontal, if the bait's horizontal, you're this way and you're pitching that way. Not as much, but most of the time I pretty much have a minimum of 3-foot leader for most of everything I'm fishing.
Well, I always start
vertical. I may go a little longer just because that, seeing that line down there, it's going to be kind of this direction. Your line up here and your leader and everything down here, and it's kind of in their vision zone. So make it a little longer so they really can't tell that there's something attached to it.
I usually start with about a 3-footer because anyway, you got to, if you're any kind of fish that starts rubbing on that close to the hook, you got to cut an inch or 2 off. So if you start with a short leader, you're done.
You'll be retying all day.
That's right. So if you just start with a long leader, at least you can cut it 4 or 5 inches. And then, you start thinking about maybe replacing it. But on the long run,
that's a captain trick. That's also a captain trick to not keep tying every time. You can retie a hook real quick, but you have to retie that leader every time. Pain in the butt.
I had one guy that got stuck so many times on the mangroves that I finally said, listen, I know how to tie knots. You don't have to put me through this process all day long. I mean, this guy.
I've told him next time that happens, I'm going to teach you how to tie one, and then you're going to be doing it.
I mean, this one guy, I think he thought the fish were inside the mangroves about 3 feet off the water. Because every time he kept putting it in there, and I said,
man, you're doing a little squirrel fishing.
Oh, I tell you, it's something. But the other thing I heard about here now, I understand that on the beaches there's some good schools of bait. Ron was out there this week and he said up and down the beaches around Fort DeSoto, there was a lot of good bait right along the edge of the beaches.
That's good.
And I'll find out this week because I got 2 days I'm going to be out here in Tampa Bay, and I might go out the 3rd day. It's just one day I just want to go look. I got charters for 2 days, but then I want to go one day and just look and see where everything's at. Just kind of like go from here to there, places that I haven't been to in a long time, or I thought maybe I should try, and I just haven't done it. But first thing in the morning, I'm going to go looking for bait just to see where it's at, see if I can find any. Yeah. But just in case, I'm going to buy a scoop.
There you go.
Just in case.
Yeah, we're actually seeing. I saw some yesterday. Some more of the finger mullet coming in too, which is going to get good for the fall. We get the smaller mullet. Most of the time, our mullet here are 2, 3, 4 pounds. I mean, there's some big mullet out here. Now we're getting the smaller finger mullet, eating size. So for those fish out there, so I think and there's quite a bit of them. The schools that I've been finding the mullet are just massive schools. So, but that's been the key. Find the mullet, you're going to find the fish. It's pretty much what we've been kind of keying in on here lately.
Especially anytime I see a lot of mullet, I first that comes to my mind is redfish. Because that mullet, they're bottom feeders. Yeah. And they stir up the bottom. And that kicks up all these little shrimp and all that kind of stuff. And that's another thing I saw. A guy was using some little jig. He caught 3 mullet on this little jig. Now, I've caught mullet over the years once in a great while on a hook.
Yeah.
But, that's kind of rare. But this guy was actually using this little tiny jig, and he was getting some mullet.
Yeah. They catch them here in Crystal River right off the bank near Pete's Pier with cane poles and spinner rods. And they have a mix of oatmeal, chicken feed, flour. It's kind of like a paste type thing, and they kind of ball it up, and they've got these 2 or 3 little sabiki hook type things, sabiki rig. They put a little ball on that hook, and then they chunk some out there to get the mullet coming in. got a little bobber on top. As soon as that bobber starts moving, they just pulling mullet all day long.
And I'll tell you, the mullet that I have caught, they're hard fighters. It was amazing to me. And if you look at their body, you know, it's pretty close to a bonefish almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I've caught maybe 3 or 4 with tackle. Now, we used to catch them as a kid on the backyard on the dock, where we used to use pork fat and dice it up in like little pieces of carrot and salt it overnight. And then we used to day old bread, like I said, make like a mush and sit on the dock and start throwing some over, and the mullet would come. And then you put that little tiny piece of pork fat, it looked like a piece of bread, on like a number 6 gold hook and a little barber and either a light tackle rod or cane poles. We used to use cane poles. And man, you could catch quite a few mullet that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice mullet.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, almost every day out there at Pete's Pier, you can see them fishing out there. And they'd just be lined up. There'd be several people just chumming that water up. And it works.
Yeah. Let's get Scotty Rowe's fishing report.
Sure. Sounds good.
Hello, everybody. This is Captain Scotty Rowe from Charlotte Harbor, Florida. The fishing the last week has been absolutely phenomenal. On the higher tides, we've been having some really super high floods and redfish under the bushes, catching them on pinfish. Some real beautiful fish, upper slot stuff, 25, 26 inches, beautiful. Snook bite is absolutely on fire right now. Today, I was out fishing in some of the PGI canals in Punta Gorda, and how many snook do you want to catch? It was crazy. We didn't get any big ones, but, you know, up to maybe 25, 26 inches, but some really, really just action. And mangrove snapper bite is absolutely still insane for those people that are wanting to bring home some dinner, the best eating fish we have. And we got our limit today, and all the days before, we got our limit every day on snapper. Tarpon. There are tarpon everywhere. If you want 10 pounders, 150 pounders, we got them. Those big tarpon are out roaming in the middle of the bay and, you know, around the 23-foot hole or whatever you want to call it. But we got all these juveniles in all these canals in Port Charlotte and Punta Gorda, having fun with those. Another thing that I like to catch this time of year, and yes, I use shrimp, frozen shrimp for them, is those big black drum. And I'll tell you what, if you want to see some people smile when they get that 20 to 40 pound black drum in their hands, it's absolutely just exciting. So, but the fishing down here in Charlotte Harbor is on fire. I will definitely say with the heat, the morning bite is definitely better, and as the day heats on, it does slow up a little bit, but we're catching them up here in Charlotte Harbor. The bite is good. No reason not to go fishing. And tight lines, everybody. We'll holler at y'all later.
Thank you, Scotty.
Thank you, Scotty. Yeah. I wish we'd have those little juvenile tarpon up here. I'm just so surprised we just don't have them here.
That's one of the things that I've been talking about doing, and I haven't done it. I might this week. I might just take some dead fresh shrimp and try for some of those black drums under the Gandy Bridge for a while.
There you go.
All you want to do is just hook 1 or 2, and that's it. You don't want to hook anymore.
Big donkeys. Yeah.
But they're a lot of fun. They'll give you a fun for the money. You know.
They are. So.
And actually, they're pretty good eating. Those smaller ones, they're very good. Mm-hmm. They're very good. Now, once you start getting those 30, 40, 50 pounders, they're grainy and everything. And, you know, everybody says they got worms on the tails. Well, trout's got worms on the tail. It's protein. When you cook them, they pop. Hey, it's good protein.
Yeah. It doesn't look appealing, but it doesn't harm you either.
No, it doesn't harm you either.
No.
The ones that I don't like is, especially trout in the summer. You'll get some trout and you're trying to get them off the hook. You put them on the deck to measure them, and these little bugs come out of their gill plates walking around.
Yeah. And the reason for that is because majority of their life, they're sitting in that grass. They're just hunkered down. I mean, they're colored for it perfectly. They blend with that seagrass. and they just sit there and they look up looking for something to come through. So they've got all the bugs and worms and all that are in that grass just kind of attach themselves to it, you know. So
ooh, hey, we get a free ride, a free Uber ride.
yeah. And believe it or not, those little worms that you see in the black drums and the trout, their whole lifespan is to get into a shark.
To get into a shark?
Because in a shark's blood, in a shark's body, it's the right acidity and everything else to produce more worms. So they find those type of fish that hopefully a shark will eat, gets in their digestive system, and then they go right through their digestive system into the shark's meat, produce, and then get, excremented out again, and then there goes the cycle again.
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, and people, all big trout have. They're all towards the tail. I never see any, but usually it's at the tail. The black drum will have them. Big redfish will have the worms on the tail.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, if ever you open up, and I've seen it on redfish, you slice open a redfish, and all of a sudden there's just a pocket, and it looks like the meat's missing. And you look on the fish itself and go, "Did I miss something?" No, I didn't miss it. There's just a pocket. That was one of those worms. It grew up big enough, and it came out of the, redfish, and reproduced. A lot of those worms just go into fish to mature and then come out and reproduce. So it's just a life cycle that's out there. It's just part of it. So yeah.
Well, it's not my type of life cycle.
No. But
and now Donald, he snagged a mullet. Donald's done everything in life, I'll tell you. He's got stories to tell. It reminds me of one of my clients that he's got stories he can tell you, and he can give you the exact date, the time of day, and everything. But Donald's he spends a lot of time on the water, and he likes those kayaks, Yeah. But like I said, I'm not a kayak friendly angler. They don't like me, so I don't like them.
Yeah, and I've got a snatch hook on a couple of them on my boat. So about fall, sometimes in the winter, depending on how bait's really short, not a lot of shrimp, et cetera, I will go and snag those mullet for our bait. And yeah, they can put up a fight, especially if you side hook them or something like that. It's like pulling in a freight train. It's just they are tough fish to fight. It's just they swim constantly, so they're tough, but they're good for bait, and we snatch them quite a bit.
The only thing I don't like about mullet for bait, that's why I like ladyfish so much better. The mullet meat doesn't seem to stay on very well. But when you cut a piece of mullet, that degrades pretty quick. Where you get a piece of ladyfish and it stays on it's a tough meat. It stays on there pretty good. But I noticed that mullet, you cut them just like you do a ladyfish, and you put it on the hook, and it kind of like it just starts falling off pretty quick.
You can't use it as long as you would a chunk of ladyfish. It'll deteriorate, or the bait fish will eat it out pretty quick. So you just have to have more mullet. Just keep refreshing that bait.
Well, I tell you what, let's get your fishing report in.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, good evening, Captain Mike Haynes. Well, it's been a minute since I've done one of these reports. Mainly been, focusing on scalloping recently, just because it's the season. But did get out there and get some fishing done this week. Had a charter a couple days, and went out personal as well, and it was good. Caught a lot of redfish. That seems to be the primary bite right now, and we're catching them on lures and cut baits, pinfish type, with no issues. The only thing I say is definitely check your timing, and the active water. And what I mean by that, first of all, let's go to timing. Timing is the tides. Seems to be the bite is better when the tide is outgoing tide, or just at the beginning of the incoming. So they seem to be biting a little bit better on that lower water. And just kind of time your fishing around there, because that seems to be when that water's moving the most. As it gets to the higher part of the tide really, really slows down. and there's not much activity. All the mullet and everything that you're fishing around, because you definitely need to find some mullet. The mullet will tell you where the active water is, where the oxygen levels, et cetera, are. So if you find the mullet, you'll find at the higher end of the tide and the very bottom of the tide, these mullet are spreading out into the flat. And so that pretty much means the rest of the fish are spreading out on the flat. There's no real concentration. So that's why I'm saying on the very hour or so of the incoming, an hour or so on the outgoing, it seems to be where the bite picks up. Just because these fish kind of get concentrated again, especially the mullet, and brings all these fish into the feeding zone. So pay attention to that. That'll help you on your next time out there. Scalloping's still very good. Have no issues finding scallops, even this late in the season, so we're having a pretty good year. I think the rain recently and everything else has kind of changed that to a degree. There seems to be a little more scallops in the shallower stuff, so when you get out there, try to look for the shallower waters to find your scallops at first, and then progress slowly outward if you need to, but definitely find the broken bottom. They're not really, they're in the hard, thick grass, but it's a lot easier to find them in that broken up stuff. So try to find some broken bottom, and you'll find a little more scallops then. Let's see, rocks and reefs still producing grunts and mangroves. Bites kind of slowed down a little bit. It's midsummer and a hot summer. In fact, this week it's supposed to get up to feel like 3 digits. So it's going to be hot. The bigger schools of the larger redfish are coming in as well. So around the spoil banks and stuff like that. So we're getting ready for that too. Seeing some larger schools of the bull reds, kind of mixing it in with some of the reds in the inner islands. So they're moving about. So it won't be long if they're not already. Get those big schools of bull reds out there on the spoils. Should be ready to go with that. I will say the pictures there, that's Caleb, one of my clients. That was his first ever redfish. He got a 20 at first. Then he upgraded to 23 and then finally got a 26.5. So that was good for him that day. It was the first time he was catching redfish, and he nailed it quite a bit. He was on fire that day. Captain Jeremy and I went out the following day after, something like that. And we went scouting, found a little creek in the back country, and we just kind of followed this creek all the way through. Went in one direction, came out the other, and we were just throwing spoons and soft plastics paddle tail, and we were catching redfish quite regularly. It was quite fun to do that. I like those days where I can just get out there and not think of a client and just fish. So we had a lot of fun. Yesterday was the scalloping and redfish, and like I said, you can see by the pictures we did very well. So get out there, take your time, just make sure you're fishing the tides and the time. That seems to be the big key around here. So Captain Mike Haynes, Fishbones Charters. We'll see you next week.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, I didn't see the rest of the video.
Yeah, what happened to the rest of the video? Hold on.
Cut off. There was some good footage. There was a lot of redfish and footage. Yeah.
Yeah, did he get mad at you? He didn't put it on.
I know. It just kind of cut off after Caleb. What happened?
I don't know.
But yeah, it had some, It was great for him. But on the way back home, he fell asleep again. I wore him out. Caught a lot of fish.
God bless his heart. But,
Yeah.
hey, there's the kids. Yeah, but actually, I've had, like, sometimes you worry about real small kids. I've had some small kids on the boat over the years that, man, they really love to fish. I mean, I had a 7-year-old that he wouldn't put the rod down for nothing. He was going to catch fish.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of kids that you want in your boat, not the one that. And then I have the ones that, the real little ones that love to go and just look at the bait well and try to stick their hand in there and grab a bait. And their parents say, "Don't do that." I say, let them do it. What the heck? We got 300 baits in there. What are you going to do with them?
Yeah.
And it keeps the kid going. So.
Yeah, and that's Captain Jeremy there. This is when we were in the backcountry. He was throwing a spoon, I was throwing a paddle tail, and both of us, we were hitting one side of the creek and the other. And I hit the right side, he hit the left side, and we were catching fish that day. It was fun.
On artificials?
Yeah, artificials. And then this was yesterday, and we were doubled up a few times on the reds. They were just stacked up underneath these trees, and that's where the black tip came around. But yeah, we had a fun day, and that's where we got a bunch of scallops as well. But yeah, it's fun when those redfish get stacked up and you can just throw in baits and it's one right after the other. I think we sat there maybe a half hour, if that. I think we caught over 10 fish in just that one little area. Probably could have caught more, but it was at the end of the day and it was getting hot. And I was like, you guys ready? They said, yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
So,
yeah. I tell you what, it just gets so hot sometimes that you just get tired of. It's not that you don't want to fish. It's so hot.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's brutal, and you can see in that video there was no wind behind that island. So it was just that sun just beating down on you, and it wears you out. When you're out there all day. So we started like at 8 o'clock, and it was about 3 o'clock at that time. And we fished in the morning, went out scalping for a little bit, and then came back in and finished out a little fishing. And yeah, it was, I was done. I was just hot and tired. My feet felt like they were on fire. So I was like, let's go.
That's it. Well, all right. Well, you know what? We put in another show today. We appreciate everybody. And hopefully, once it cools down, we start getting more fishing reports and some of our captains will start feeling better. Because I know 3 of them that they got hit with this cold or whatever it is. This blood.
Yeah, not good.
So, just be careful. Thank you. And tell everybody about, Fishing Adventures Florida Insider. And don't forget to go to our YouTube channel and watch our shows. And if you like them, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. That helps keep the show going. And it keeps our producer smiling,
Yep. And also, if you happen to see it, pick up the latest Onshore Offshore magazine.
That's right. Yeah, your
got
client's
both
on the
of us
front cover.
Writing, and I got one of my clients on the cover this month. So yeah.
Fantastic. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.
Have a good week.
Goodbye.